So here we go. So I'll start with a story. It's a true story. There was this kindergarten teacher, and she was in her class, and she was doing the lesson that every kindergarten teacher has to teach, which is the lesson on teaching how animals have different kinds of homes, and we all have different kinds of homes. And so she tried to make her examples, as varied as she could, like rabbits live in burrows, and birds live in nests, and bears live in caves, and monkeys live in trees, and she was giving all those examples. And then she wanted the kids to start thinking and for themselves. So she started asking more questions like, where do cows live, and where do fish live, and where do skunks live? And the kids were coming up with these great answers, and the class was going great until she asked the question, where do moles live? Well, there's a little girl named Kirby in the class, and Kirby raises her hand and she said, I know where moles live. She said, I have a mole and it lives on my butt. Kirby is actually the daughter of one of my coworkers, and we were constantly giggling over, like, where do moles live? Didn't we know? Hysterical. So it's funny that when we're little, like Kirby was at the time, we have a very different relationship with our physical bodies than we do as adults, and we don't really just shout out to the world that I have a mole that lives on my butt. But we probably do. But at any rate, as we explore the month of love and all the colors of love, I want to talk today about loving our body. So last week we talked about loving our center and what's the center of us, and then and then loving our center as well. But we talked about loving what's inside of us, and then today I want to talk about the physical form and loving our physical magic suit, and we'll talk about that. And next week, it's going to be about sex, so y'all come on and have that conversation, and then we'll finish up. So he's like, okay, I'm coming back next week. And then the final week of February, we're going to talk about loving each other and loving each other as mirrors for each other. So it's a great month of love. But at any rate, if we're going to be on a lifelong quest to love ourselves, we've got to love our bodies. We've got to go down the road. We're on this lifelong quest. We've got to go down the road of loving and learning to love our bodies. So, if you've been around here a hot minute, I call this my magic suit. This is our magic suit that we use to, we zip into it to explore the world. And I think Brittany's reading was perfect. It's the ship the captain drives or whatever. And these are indeed magic suits because they are our greatest teacher, but they're also our greatest lesson. They house our consciousness, but they also reflect our consciousness to us. We use them to make our choices, but they also show us the results of the choices that we have made. So they're just very, very interesting things that we get to play with. But there are so many important messages that come to us from our culture about our relationship with our bodies, and they're powerful messages that kind of get into our subconscious minds every minute of every day. What kinds of messages are we hearing every day? Most of these messages are about how our bodies are somehow inferior or ugly or less than or broken, and many messages. Have you ever noticed how many commercials there are on television just telling us how sick we are and how less than strong we are and how weak we are and how much medicine we really need? And there are messages about the acceptability of our body too. They say things like, well, if your body's the wrong size or it's misshapen or disproportioned or whatever, there's something wrong with you. Or if you're the wrong shade or the wrong color, they're ranking about all of that. It's just crazy. Or maybe your body's too tall or too short or too something, too anything. You're not good enough. If your body's not great, according to all these messages out here, you're not good enough. You're not worthy. You don't belong. And those are the external messages coming at us from out here. What are the ones inside of us? What are the messages that we're giving ourselves with our own consciousness, our own thoughts, and our own feelings? What are those messages? Well, I don't assume to know what your inner critic says, but I think your inner critic and mine are best friends. They're pretty good friends, and I think they talk the same stuff, right? Things like I'm too this or too that, or I'm used to be able to do this and now suddenly I can't, or I'm not strong enough, or I'm not pretty enough. I'm not as graceful as I would like to be. My body doesn't bend for yoga. I'm inflexible. I'm too tall. My hair's too wavy. I don't look like her, so I'm ugly. I'm getting old. Any of it sound like, come on, right? So every day, every hour, every minute, the same body talk is going on. And so no wonder illness and pain are a part of almost everyone else's experiences. Even though they don't reflect the spiritual truth of who we are, they're there. So what does spiritual truth have to do with our bodies? Everything. Everything. So one of the things I get to do as a minister is I get to watch a lot of stuff. Like I read a lot and I watch a lot of things. And one of the best things I've watched recently really emphasize some of the spiritual truth around our physical bodies and around our physical experience of being in a human body. And it's the documentary on Netflix called Heal. Has anyone seen the documentary Heal? A couple people have. The rest of you, you've got homework, okay? Get on Netflix and watch the documentary called Heal. And so I obviously can't share all the wisdom that's contained in a long film, but I do want to highlight a few things that just jumped out at me that I felt were really important on the topic of loving our bodies and changing the relationship we have with our bodies. The truth is that our bodies are divine creations. They absolutely reflect divine intelligence in their design. So I want you to remember, this is like biology 101 or like elementary biology, but your entire body was created out of two cells that came together to form a new expression of physical form, right? And out of that union arose every other unique cell in your body. Those cells make up your organs and your bones and your skins and your tissues and all of that stuff in your brain. And each cell knows what their job is. This cell knows to create fingernails, and this cell knows to be a part of your arterial wall, right? And so creation is incredibly intelligent. And guess what? Those cells automatically know how to replenish and replace themselves. I used to know the stat, but it's almost like, okay, I'm not even going to try. It's a very short period of time before every single cell in your body is replaced. Is it 5 years? 7 years. Seven, that's even better. It's like the holy number. So every single cell in your body. So if you don't think that your consciousness is playing a part of your healing or your demise, you're crazy, because every cell is forming again. So we can heal ourselves, and wholeness is the truth of our body. Life is sustained by the perfection of your body. So I invite you to love the intelligence of your body. And even before you were born, but especially after you were born, your environment and your experiences that you have begin to be reflected in your physical form, in your body. The chemical and hormonal environment has an impact on your cells, because stress, or the reduction of stress, stress releases hormones, right? And the hormones show up physically. And those hormones are either stressful and declining your health, or they're reducing stress and they are improving your health. And stress is the basis of almost every human illness. So much disease is based in stress. The absence of stress is the basis of wholeness and health. So your ability to respond to your environment is incredible. And it determines the magnitude of the impact of this chemical and hormonal world that's going on in your body. And so your ability to respond to what's going on is very, very key to your health. And so I invite you to love the responsiveness of your physical body. So there's a spiritual teacher and medical intuitive and author, Carolyn Mace. I'm sure most of you are aware of her. Her sentence just slays me. It says, your biography becomes your biology. Your biography becomes your biology. In other words, whatever has happened in your life is showing up in your body. Pain in the body is showing you that you haven't healed something and you need to release energy, okay? So often we hate our bodies because they seem to cause us pain. However, I think a greater truth is that the higher we, our highest self, causes our body to be in pain. And here's what I mean. Our hearts and our minds are not, when they are not responding to an internal or external experience very well, that shows up in our body as pain. And so I think our highest self uses our body to communicate with us when we're not in alignment, right? So the thoughts we are having and the beliefs that we are holding about life create our consciousness, and our consciousness maintains the body that we live inside, right? So painful thoughts result in painful experiences, including physical experiences. So I want to talk about pain for a minute. Pain shows up in so many different ways in our physical body, doesn't it? But it really boils down to about 3 ways. So pain comes from just a few places, and each kind of pain can challenge our love for our bodies, because when we're in pain, it's hard to love our bodies. So the first kind of source of pain is an unexpected physical trauma. All right, so this is like an accidental physical experience, like a fall or being injured or wounded in some way. And this kind of pain comes from the outside of ourselves, and then we internalize it with our thoughts. So something happens to our body up here, and then we start thinking about it. And to heal this kind of pain requires us to love our bodies through the repair process. Because remember, we go back to our first point, which is our bodies intelligently know how to replace and repair cells. So part of this kind of healing from pain is about loving ourselves through the process, to be gentle and to rest, and to trust the infinite wisdom that says the intelligence that created the body can heal the body, right? Another kind of pain shows up in our physical body, and it's caused from internal imbalances, okay? So think about that for a second. This is digestive pain and muscular aches and headaches and skin sensitivities, joint issues, things like that, things that happen inside of our bodies. And these pain experiences are what Carolyn is talking about as our biography becoming our biology. Because when we're not in balance with the way we eat, the way we exercise and sleep, and how we handle mental stress and disappointment, whether or not we get our bodies into motion enough, or our physical experience will just cause us pain because it's our body's way of trying to wake us up to imbalance. And we have to ask this kind of pain, what are you here to tell me? Why are you showing up? What message do you have for me? How can I love my body more and relieve this pain? All right, so that's internal kind of imbalance. And the third kind of pain that we feel is caused from emotional or mental stuff, restrictions that we've got. See, most of us learn from a very young age that the world does not want to hear about our hurts and disappointments. Can you relate to that? Did your mom ever say, go into your room till you can be happy and then you come back, right? At least that was the message in my house. So few of us grew up in home environments where our emotions were welcomed and our disappointments were dealt with kindness. Things weren't very productive or positive around emotions in our lives. So anger and fear, we learn to hold those in and just pretend they're not happening. And we learn to fake being happy, right? To be attractive, to be a good little girl or a good little boy, we just hide all that stuff. And these unfelt feelings begin to show up in our physical bodies as pain. Whether it's tightness in the chest of anxiety, how anxious feels, that feeling of tightness, or the ache in our shoulders because we're just carrying so much of the world on our shoulders. Like a stress headache, it's so interesting that we can get into pain, and actually that's why we don't have to do the things we don't want to do, because we have this pain going on, and it's usually emotional blocking. And when we get into patterns of experiencing our body as painful, it's hard to love ourselves. It's hard to love ourselves. It's challenging to break our patterns. But it's our patterns that keep our body exactly the way it is, our habits, right? So yeah, I invite you to love your pain. I invite you to love your pain and invite it to teach you what it is here to teach you, because it is here to teach you something. So think about it. Growth comes from pain. Healing is called forth by pain. Strength is gained through pain. Just go do an ab exercise and you'll see what strength comes out of pain. Because pain shows up to tell us where we need to grow, what we need to heal, and where we need to gain strength. That's the purpose of pain. How do I need to grow? How do I need to heal? Where do I need to strengthen? But most of us are spending our whole lives trying to stay out of pain, trying to avoid pain. We're eating and we're drinking our way out of pain. We are running from situations that might cause us pain if we were to look at them critically. We surrender to weakness in order to avoid stepping into a stronger version of ourselves, and we hate our bodies because of the pain they seem to be causing us. Okay, Laine, I get it. I'm supposed to love my body, but I don't know how. I don't know how to change my mind about my body. Anybody there with me? Right? So let's see if we can let spiritual truth point us on a path toward healing our relationship with our magic suits. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says this: body expresses intelligence. It's apparent intelligence being lent by the consciousness which permeates it. The physical body is evolved for the purpose of allowing consciousness to function on this plane. So what he's saying is that the truth is that all bodies are unique, but all bodies are intelligent, and all bodies allow consciousness to flow through them. Consciousness is the awareness that you have about the world and your ability to choose from that level of consciousness. So consciousness is functioning through our bodies. All bodies are beautiful because God is all bodies. God is present in all bodies. All bodies are correlated cells that have agreed to contain an essence of a personality and give a vehicle to a life of human experiences as this personality. All bodies are created and maintained in divine intelligence, and we as human beings, thinking whatever thoughts we think, are co-creating our physical experience in our body with that divine intelligence. So the truth is, within each body, including yours, is housed all of the qualities of the divine that can show up and be on display in human form. All bodies have contained within their perfect pattern. This means your body too. Every body in perfect pattern can display beauty and balance and harmony and perfection and joy and completion and wholeness, and joy and creativity in the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's all in everybody's body. So when someone tells you that they see one of those words in you, this aspect of spirit shining forth from you, believe them. They see it. So you know what, I think I'm going to start saying compliments differently. You know, I like to say to people that you're so beautiful or you're so strong or whatever. I want to recognize that it is that individual's ability and willingness to show that quality, their willingness to allow me to see it. That's what I want to compliment. So I want to say instead, I want to train myself to say, thank you for showing me your beauty today. Thank you for showing it to me. I see it. Or how about, I'm so grateful you're willing to let me see your powerfulness this morning. Your strength right now. Thank you. Do you see the difference? Instead of me saying, I think you're beautiful, I can say, thank you for showing me your beauty. Because I want you to know that every good thing is within you. Every good thing is within you. You just get to decide how your magic suit expresses them into the world. Or not. Or not. Because you can use your magic suit to show your divine self, or you can use your magic suit in an off-balance way to hide your divine light. Let's make the choice to realign ourselves and use our magic shoes to shine brightly as God inside of our hula hoops. Our hula hoops are our realm of influence. Let's let God shine through our bodies. Most of us have some healing to do, right? And if we're going to shine, we've got some healing to do. So with all of that being said, how do we partner with that divine intelligence more fully? What do we do? How do we do that? How do we allow self-love to heal our bodies? Even if we're well into our lives of feeling something less than love for our bodies, how do we heal? So I do encourage you to watch that documentary, but here are some steps to consider toward taking greater self-love. Steps towards your body. So number one, I want you to begin to understand and adjust the energy that you are putting into your body. So in other words, if you are not in energetic balance and your body is in pain or seems to be hiding your divine light, the first step is to figure out what is the right amount of energy to put into your body, meaning food, water, substances, medicines, supplements, what you watch, what you listen to, who talks to you. All of that is energy coming into your body. So put into your body the highest quality energy forms that you can understand. Now there are far more qualified people to tell you what to put in your body and how much. Figure out that right combination. But adjusting what you put into your body is a really great place to start. And then the second step is adjust the amount of energy you're releasing from your body. So this is where you look at how you're expending energy through exercise or movement, yes, but also what are you saying? What are you thinking? What energy are you putting out from your body? Are you releasing emotional energy in a healthy way? Do you allow yourself to feel the feels, is what my daughter would say. Are you feeling the feels, Mom? Yes, feel the feels. Let yourself feel. Are you retaining too much of anything? If things are out of balance, you're either taking in too much or not releasing enough energy. So look for new ways to release energy. Here's some ways to release energy. How about massage? Would you like a massage? That's a great way to release energy. Obviously movement, but laughter, creativity, therapy, getting some talk doing, playfulness, volunteering, circulating your good. Just a zillion ways to release energy from your form. And then the third step, look at the people around your body. Look at the people around your body. Do you have enough social and spiritual support? Who you spend your time with greatly impacts the quality of your life, including the quality of your physical life, right? Do the people you spend the most time with make your body stronger and more lovable, or weaker and less lovable? That's a hard question to ask, isn't it? So snuggle up to someone who finds you beautiful, right? Even when you can't know it for yourself, or perhaps especially when you can't know it for yourself. Be around someone who thinks you're beautiful. Relationships matter. You know what? We're social animals. We're social animals. You know, if you have isolated yourself away from others, start to change that. Start to change that. Let some healthy people into your hula hoop. You know, allow yourself to be loved. Medical studies have proven that healthy people are socially supported and loved. People who heal the fast after surgery are surrounded by people who love them. It's proven. And then, number 4, figure out the blessings your body has provided you and find your body's purpose in your life right now. Why are you in a magic suit right now? There has to be a purpose for it or it wouldn't be. In other words, how has your body served you in the past? Articulate those blessings. And how is it serving you right now? Give your body a purpose and a reason for thriving. Allow Spirit to use your body to express your best self out into the world and internally. And here's the truth. The media portrays your body the same way it portrays almost everything. It's flawed and it needs fixing. But here in the Science of Mind, we believe that everyone is perfect and whole and complete, exactly as we are. Where you are right now does not determine where you end up. It just determines where you start. So how we choose to celebrate the perfection and wholeness and completeness of each individual is the question in this community. So we believe that Spirit gave us a body because we need a body to express on this human plane. And what we pay attention to, we get more of. So there's always the invitation to celebrate the power of your body, the beauty of your body, the wholeness of your body, and the abilities of your body. We teach gratitude and appreciation here. And those should be directed at anything we want to support in our lives. You know, I teach that all the time. What you appreciate, appreciate your body. And when we show gratitude and appreciation for our bodies, we take great care of them. And if we do this consistently, our bodies can change for the better and we can heal. Your body is a part of the entire physical reality of this life. Our soul uses our body to interact with the human physical world, and the body is a vehicle that your soul is driving around as it engages with life around you. It's that ship that Brittany talked about in her reading. What does your body need right now? It needs you to love it. It needs you to stop the battle being waged against it by outside influential messages and visual clues. It needs you to listen to it and support it with your loving choices. It needs acceptance and no more judgment. Sonia Renee Taylor wrote a book called The Body is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love, and she says this: concepts like self-acceptance and body neutrality are not without value. When you have spent your entire life at war with your body, these models offer a truce. But you can have more than a ceasefire. You can have radical self-love because you are already radical self-love. Sonia Renee Taylor. What the author is saying, that is, radical self-love is the answer. Love is always the answer. No matter what the question is, love is the answer. Basically, your body needs you to be its friend. So I'm going to close with a poem by a poet named Nayyirah Waheed. Here's what she says. No might make them angry, but it will make you free. If no one has ever told you your freedom is more important than their anger. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air. Practice listening to the body. Befriend it. Allow it to have a say in the choices and activities in your life. Rather living a life of just hoping your body will be okay, own what you do. Respect and love your body as the way you show up as only you can. Before each decision this week, and any time you feel stuck, close your eyes and ask your body what it wants to tell you. Give it the opportunity to be heard and loved. Let's read our affirmation together. My body, exactly as it is a perfect and glorious instrument of the divine. I take pride in and revel in the glory that is my body now. Today I love my body on a